Guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome, and if you guys have already been subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Today we're going to test out a bunch of new things that I picked out from Sephora, Ulta, from Sigma. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I achieved this monochromatic burgundy toned look, then please keep on watching. So let's begin. I'm super excited to test all these things out. For the primer, I'm going to take my Versali Skin Tune Blur, because we do have a lot of things happening on our face. It's a very liquidy, milky consistency. So I've never tried this before, but I want to try this just to see what it does. Basically concentrating on the center of my face. I have so many active breakouts happening. I always had that problem with like hormonal acne, but now it's just over the rooftop. I don't know if it's blurring or anything. I mean, I still can see my pores and everything. I mean, I don't see a big blurring thing happening on my face. At least I cannot see anything. I'm definitely sure if I apply like Benefit's Professional Primer or my Essence Skin Perfector, I think I can get rid of that. But anyways, I'm gonna apply a little bit of my Flower Beauty Corrector just to hide this breakout. I definitely cannot hide it, but at least I can get down the redness of it by just applying it. And because it's like a stiffer formula, I think it might help a little bit. Hopefully this all clears up. I have no idea why this all started, but it's intense now. Let's start off with the foundation. I'm very excited to try this, and this is my YSL All Hours foundation, and I have in the shade Bronze. So we'll see about that, if that matches or not. It should, because I am a little tan right now. So hopefully it might match. Yeah, I think we can match. It's definitely like my summer shade. Otherwise I'll have to go with like a lighter shade. But right now, because I'm tan, I think I can make it work. I don't know how much to apply. So let's just start off with that, because we can definitely add on later if we want, but we cannot take it off. Oh, this is perfect right now. I mean, like the shade match. I actually do like this. I know I'm just like applying it for the first time, but over the first impression, it doesn't seem to be like dewy or matte. It's a very skin-like finish and very lightweight on the skin. I cannot like feel it like thick or cakey when I'm applying it on my face. So I'm excited about that. See, I'll come a little closer and you can see. Obviously, ignore the breakouts that's happening, but look at my cheek area and my forehead area. It's definitely giving like a very smooth finish. Let's move on to the concealer, and this is a concealer that I have not tried before, and this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. Oh, it's a correcting concealer. Didn't think about that. But let's see how we go. I have the shade Medium Dark 60 WR. So I'm just gonna, maybe that's too dark for me. Yeah. I think this would be good, like as a spot concealer. Let's apply that as a spot concealer and see. Because it's right like the shade of my foundation. I'm just going to tap it on top of it with the same foundation brush. Oh, it is giving coverage. So I have a sample of the lighter version. So let me just take that out, and I have the sample of 50 CP. So let me apply that underneath my eyes. Yeah, I think that's better. And then I'm just going to go over the center of my face too, just to lighten the whole thing up. It's definitely more of a stiffer consistency, I would say. It's not as emollient when I've applied it on my skin. It's more of like a stiff and a thick consistency. That's at least what I am feeling when I'm applying it on my eyes. I'm also going to drag it on top of my eyelid, just like an eye primer base. See, but it does cover a lot. Like, can you see the difference between this eye and this eye? It definitely does cover a lot. It's not as drying as like Tarte Shape Tape, but it's not like an hydrating concealer also. I actually like that shade, the shade 50p. Now let's move on to the powder. For my under eyes, I'm just going to take my Hourglass loose setting powder because I have another powder to test out all over my face, but I wanted to apply this underneath the eyes. This is definitely not my first impression on the Hourglass powder, but I have only applied it like once before, so I definitely wanted to test that out. But I really did like it when I applied it like underneath my eyes. Nice. By the way, for my brows, I already did my brows using my Benefits Precisely My Brow in the shade 3.5. So for my overall face, the powder that I'm going to use is from number 7 and this is in the shade medium. I just got this like yesterday from Target. I'm super excited to try that. Let's see how it performs. Oh, very smooth. Very, very smooth, I would say. People say it's a dupe for my Charlotte Tilbury powder, the pressed powder version. I have not compared it like side by side, but I would be interested in doing that. If you guys want to see that in action, I can do that in like my future videos. But overall, I feel it's a really good setting powder. Like I do not have any complaints. I'm not seeing any like powdery finish or anything like that. And this comes with 10 grams of product and it's in hypoallergenic powder. Comes with a mirror. So beautiful packaging, I would say. Really, really like that. So far so good. I'm liking the way it is all coming out. So for the bronzer, I definitely wanted to test this out, and this is my NOMAD's bronzer and this is in the shade Manly Beach. Can you see a big difference? I mean, I definitely can see the bronzer, but it's a warm bronzer and it's powdery too because it's picking out a lot in the pan. I'll show it to you guys. So when I'm like putting my brush into it, can you see this? Like the powder fallout? Yeah, so there's a lot of fallout, like pickup in the pan, but that's not a big concern for me till the time it's performing well and it is bronzing up the face. But I personally feel right now it's okay because I'm tan, but when I'm like out of the summer months and when I'm not tan, I really do not like dipping into like super warm tone bronzers. So I think I'm just gonna get this used in like the summer months. After applying that bronzer, I feel like my face feels heavy. I am definitely feeling that. So I'm just gonna take my powder brush and just like run all throughout my face with no additional product, whatever is left over in that powder brush, just so that everything can smoothly blend into each other. Now let's move on to the blush and the highlighter, and this has been in my collection for a long time and I've not yet tested it out, and this is from Makeup Forever and this is the Duo. The blush is in the shade S214 and the highlighter is in the shade H106. Since it's a very mauve toned blush and a golden highlighter, so we'll do something on the eyes accordingly. But I definitely wanted to test this out. I do like mauve tones and like, you know, a cool tone pink on my cheek, especially for winter. I think this is going to be like super useful in like winter season. And then I'm going to take the same highlighter in this palette and I'm going to go over it. Oh wow, I like that. Super smooth. Again, I'm blending it into my skin. I'm not like keeping it on my skin, especially because I have a lot of breakouts. So I'm strategically placing it too. A little bit on the nose. On the cupid's bow. And then let's move on to our eyes, and I'm super excited for that. When I did my purchase, I got this Natasha Denona single eyeshadow in the shade Sense from the big Zendo palette. So I am excited to try this, but let me just swatch it for you guys. So that's how the shade is looking like. It looks like more of like a coppery shade, Am I blown away by a Natasha Denona shadow? I don't think so. This is the first time I'm applying like a Natasha Denona shadow. Although it's like a single eyeshadow, but yes, this is my moment. So let me take it in. So I think to complement that eyeshadow, I think I'm going to dip into my warm neutrals palette, because even this I've not tested out too much on my channel. So I thought we can do that together. Let's start off with the shade called Toasty. And I'm going to apply that on my crease, just like a transitioning shade. I did pick out the Ambience palette, guys. Stop. I can see your judging eyes, but stop. There was a big sale happening and I almost got it for like 40% off. How can you say no to that? Sorry. Oh my god, I was drooling over that eyeshadow palette and I kept away from it for a long time. I really couldn't when I saw the sale. So yeah, that would be coming very, very soon. Let's dip into the shade called, what's this? Chills? It's not Chills, it's Chiles. I am sorry, this burgundy shade. So let me take that, because I've never used that before. Oh, that's perfect. So it has a lot burgundy in it, but also has a lot of brown in it. Perfect, I would say, for deepening up. I'm going to take it on a more of a fluffy brush. I am loving the Sigma eyeshadow palettes, guys. If you guys have not tested out already, I mean, I do always post whenever there's a sale happening on my Instagram. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram, definitely do that. If you guys want to know the sales, when are they happening and all, I mean, that's the best place for me to tell you guys as soon as I see it. Once I've deepened that out, nothing major, but I'm just like placing it out and just going all over the crease. One of my friends visiting us tomorrow for the first time after this whole shebang started. So I am super excited for that. I mean, it's been more than a year. It's been what? 1.5 years? I've lost the count of it. But yes, I'm super excited. All of us are vaccinated. Even they were like staying indoors. And I was like, I think it's time. We should meet. And kids are so excited, especially because they've not seen any faces apart from like us four looking at each other all the time. I think the only one that steps out of my house, it's only me. Especially when I'm like going to like grocery pickup or something like that. That's the only time when I get out of the house. It's definitely been too long, for sure. It definitely performed well, as you can see, the Natasha Denona eyeshadow. Have I not seen anything like this? No, I have. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I dip into this shade, which is Iconic, from this palette, the Warm Neutrals palette, it's going to perform the same. So, it's not blowing my socks off, but is it good? Yeah, it is. So, let's move on. I don't know what else to say. So let's move on. For the inner corners, I really wanted a little more sparkly shade. So I am going to dip into this shade, which is Beaming from the palette. And I'm going to take that on the inner corners. I'm going to bring it on top of that shade, the Natasha Denona shade that we applied, just because it's not light enough as much as I thought. So I'll put something like a highlighter in the inner corners. And I'm just going to swoop it in and just get it inside the shade, which is called Sense. And now, because it's more of a pinky brown shade, I want to incorporate a little more burgundy in the eye look. So we'll do that next. I'm going to take this shade, which is Rogue from the palette. And I'm going to take that. Or should I take Russet? I think we should take Russet and Rogue mixed together. So this one and this one mixed together. And I'm going to apply, tap off the excess. Apply that on my lower lash line just to get more of a burgundy shade coming through and just blow out the lower lash line. I'm going to take the fluffier side and dip into the shade Rogue and Russet again and just apply a tiny little bit on the outer corners just to tie in everything together. Just because it became like a pinky look now. So I wanted to tie that in to my outer corners. Now just to clean up the edges of the eye look, I'm going to take this shade which is Passion Fruit from the palette. I would say it's more of a pale milky pink shade. I'm just going to run that on the edges just to clean this up. I'm just going to finish off my eyes with some liner and mascara. For my liner, I'm just going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner, and for mascara, let's do the same. We'll take the Anastasia Beverly Hills mascara. I'll finish off my eyes and I'll get right back. Now for the inner corners, I'm going to take the same highlighter that we used earlier and plop that in my inner corners just for a subtle pop and right underneath the brow bone, just like that. And then I'm thinking that we should go a little monochromatic today because it's been a while that I've not been monochromatic. So let's do that. So for my lip liner, I'm going to take my Pat McGrath Permagel Ultra Lip Liner in the shade Living Legend. And then for my lipstick, I'm just going to take the Pat McGrath Matte Trans Lipstick in the shade Flesh 5. Again, a very burgundy tone lipstick. I want a more of a matte lips today. I'm feeling that way. So let's leave it at that. And then I'm going to spray my face with my all-nighter setting spray from Urban Decay. So that's my final look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let's wrap up our thoughts with the products that we use. I really like that YSL foundation. It seems very skin-like, but it did cover a lot. So it definitely has like a medium to full coverage is what I would say. Talking about the concealer, the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer, I really liked that shade. It is definitely a heavy concealer and it is much more drying. It's not hydrating at all. You know, if you guys prefer a lightweight concealer, I don't think this one is going to be for you. Talking about the eyeshadow palette, I definitely do love my Sigma eyeshadow palette. I did like my Natasha Denona single eyeshadow. Was I blown away? No. Talking about the NOMAD bronzer, it's definitely a little warm for me. I definitely have to go out with like a very light hand, I would say. But I did like the blush and the highlighter duo from Makeup Forever. I really like that. I loved my number 7 powder, the face powder. It definitely did blur out my texture. Not completely, but yes, it's pretty good is what I would say. For Sally Skin Tune Blur, I did not see much of a blurringness happening on my skin. So you know, it did mattify my skin, I would say, but not like blurred it out. For my Hourglass loose setting powder, is it good? Yeah, it is. But can I find a much better powder at a lesser cost? Yes, sure I can. If you guys have not seen my top 10 powder recommendations for textured skin, definitely do check it out. I'll link it in the icons above for you guys to check it out. But yeah, I love all those powders a little more than this Hourglass powder, for sure, being very honest. The lip duo, it's not a new thing for me. I love my Pat McGrath lip products, so yeah, I did like that. So yeah, I think that's all that we tested out. Overall, I really do like the look. It's been a long while that I've like not done like a monochromatic look, and I really like it. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video and if you like makeup tutorials in general, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 times a week, every single week, sometimes 4. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.